Today on This Week in Startups, 3 more founders from Founder University pitched their ideas for the chance to secure a $25,000 investment from Jason. It's going to be a great show. Stick with us. This Week in Startups is brought to you by Vanta. Compliance and security shouldn't be a deal breaker for startups to win new business. Vanta makes it easy for companies to get a SOC 2 report fast. Twist listeners can get $1,000 off for a limited time at vanta.com/twist. LinkedIn Jobs. A business is only as strong as its people, and every hire matters. Post your first job for free at linkedin.com/twist. And Mayfair helps venture-backed companies protect and grow their cash automatically. Diversify where you hold your cash, increase your FDIC insurance coverage, and earn up to 4.35% yield on deposits. Go to getmayfair.com/twist to get started today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the program. Y'all had such a great response to our Founder University showcase where I told y'all I would invest $25,000 in one of the 4 companies and in the last one, 3 companies, that I thought we'd make this a regular thing. So if you haven't seen the pitch shows we did previously, we did episode 1703 and episode 1709. We had 4 people pitch me in the first one. And then we had 3 people pitch me in episode 1709. I won't spoil it for you. You can see which one I picked for the $25,000 investment. And why are we doing this? Well, I started my career writing $25K checks to founders who had ideas. So I thought we'd bring that back, but we put a little more around it. And what we put around it is something called Founder University. This is a 12-week program that we run 3 times a year. Maybe we'll try for 4. We have 200, 300 people who join it each time. And we pick the companies that have performed the best in terms of building an MVP, showing us they can actually build product and they can meet with customers and understand customer need. Once we see those 2 things, if they've got 2 or 3 founders, hopefully 2, and they can actually build product, we're inclined to make the first investment in the company, the friends and family round of $25K. Now, of course, we invest more as a firm, but that's just the starting point. With me again today is Kelly Schricker. She is, I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, right?
Kelly Schricker, yep.
We've worked together for 5, 6, 7 years, and I realized I never say your last name. We all just say, hey, Kelly, and whatever. And I have dyslexia, so it really is like, your name is kind of tough. So Kelly worked with me at Inside.com, did operations, and then she wanted to be a venture capitalist. She's been working with me here at Launch for just over a year.
Little over a year, that's right.
Little over a year. And Founder University needed somebody to run it. So Presh and Kelly have taken over Founder University. We just completed our 4th cohort and we're working on applications for the 5th, correct?
Correct. Yes, we are.
Okay. Explain to people what we're looking for today, because we let anybody sign up basically. But now we're being a little bit more refined since we have so much demand for the program. What are we looking for and why?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing we're looking for is multiple builder founders in our ideal scenario. And the reason for that is we have got a lot of ideas in the world. And with ChatGPT and all these other tools, it's not hard to have ideas these days. And so we really want to see multiple folks who are all working on one problem. Maybe they have an idea. Maybe they haven't solidified that yet. That's totally fine with us. But as long as they're folks who have a skill set to bring that into the world, that's what we're looking for. From there as well, we are looking for folks that have titles like developer, designer, UX, UI, sales, and then ops kind of at the end of that list. Again, folks that can actually bring the product into the market and get those early tractions taken care of.
Yeah, people who can build product. And if you're 3 idea people, yeah, we might accept you, but we probably wouldn't be able to invest because we need people who can build product. And ideas are easy, execution is hard. And people are probably overthinking how hard it is to build an MVP. In today's world, with the tools that are out there, Bubble, Zapier, and countless other tools, you can build a product even if you're not a developer. And if you can't find a developer to be your co-founder or a UX person or a designer, well, you might have failed the first test of being an entrepreneur, which is convincing other people to come on the journey with you. So Founder University, not for everybody. If you're an idea person, who can't get the resources together to build stuff, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So we're going to prioritize people who can build. If we find developers, specifically teams of 2 or more developers, we're inclined to give them $25,000 even at the early weeks of the program or at the start of the program if they have a great idea and they're just starting to build their MVP. Why? Developers have a greater chance of getting a product to market than non-developers. So we have a massive bias towards developer founders and multiple founders. That doesn't mean we won't invest in a solo founder. There are great solo founders in the world, but multiple founders means you're going to get more done and they have a greater chance of being successful. All right. So we have 3 different companies today. They're going to pitch for 2 minutes. I'll ask them a couple questions. We'll talk about the merits of each of these companies, and then we'll decide which one gets the $25,000 today that will invest in the company. These are all from the 4th cohort, or some of these from the first 3?
Correct. All from our 4th cohort of Founder University.
Fantastic. Now, we are maintaining relationships with the first 4 cohorts. So we are emailing in a group way, the first cohort, the second cohort, the third cohort, and now the 4th, and saying, hey, keep us updated on your business. If you make progress, we'd love to invest that $25K, maybe have you come to our accelerator where we put in $100,000, or even a direct investment from our fund, which tends to be $250K. And then we have the syndicate where we can expand an investment. So you can apply at founder.university. Go to founder.university, read more about the program. There's a 12-week program, there's a 2-day program, and there is a podcast and some blog posts to help you with tactical stuff. But we're talking here about the 12-week program, which is really the heart of what we do at Founder University. Okay, let's meet our first contestant on who's going to get $25K from JCal. Sticker is the first company up.
Yep, Sticker. So Shin, you can come on.
Take out. Yeah.
All right, glad to be here. I'll share my screen.
Okay, Shin is here. Congratulations on graduating the program. You have 2 minutes, 3 to go.
My brother and I both used to play instruments, but it was so hard for us to stay motivated to practice because they were such individual tasks. So we decided we wanted to hold each other accountable. And we said, let's send pictures to each other and send texts to each other to prove that we're making progress. And it was actually really motivating for a while until we started to forget to text each other and we realized that it's really easy to get distracted from your goals. So that's why we're building Sticker, which is an app to create challenges with your friends so that we can actually accomplish our goals. So first, you would create a challenge for any goal area. Then you would input how you want to measure the goal and how long you want the challenge to last. Then you'll add your friends as competitors and the challenge begins. When you log your progress, you'll also take a photo as evidence, and these photos can be seen in a separate activity screen here. And when the challenge is over, the person who reached the most towards the metric that you selected is the winner. With Sticker, you have a dedicated place for social accountability. And we've also found through research that competition is conducive for motivation, and Sticker helps you do that very easily. And with Sticker, you can create any goals you want to have. So, for example, your goal is to apply to jobs. You select job applications as your metric, and then you add your friends as your competitors. The duration of the challenge would be, of course, the recruitment season. So there's no other app out there or other platforms that can be the kind of natural challenges that can come up in natural conversations. And this is because they're either not engaging to remind you to complete your goals, such as docs or notes, and they're not competitive, and so you lose that kind of motivation aspect, or they're just not specific for your goal. So we're looking at affiliate marketing, where when brands can create challenge templates, and also a premium plan. Currently, we're at an MVP with 55 users on our waitlist, and this is our team with 2 developers and a designer, and me as a product manager. So at Sticker, we want to help each other become our best selves. Thank you.
All right. Incredibly well done. Shin, I love this idea. I use the Fitbit challenge with steps. I was in another challenge where some friends and I who were trying to lose weight were all taking screenshots of our fasts inside of a fasting app called Zero. And I think they eventually brought those into the app, but not every app does this. And I started doing a push-up challenge for myself, and I just created a Google sheet, but I would love to be able to create a push-up challenge with my brother or basically my two brothers, and see if we could each do 10 push-ups a day, then 20. So I love the idea. I think it's great that it's an open-ended platform. I love your idea of maybe putting in affiliate ideas where, I don't know, somebody like Gatorade could say, you know, hey, start a challenge with your friends and whoever wins will send you some of this incredible, you know, liquid IV or Element. One of these, those are our sponsors for our show, better than Gatorade, I think. Certainly much more healthy. So tons of great ideas. Oh, you could even, you know, do athletic greens. Hey, drink your athletic greens every day. These have really great potential. So I love the creativity. I've never seen anything like this in the field where it's an open platform for doing this. And so there's a revenue model with the affiliates. Just if you could get critical mass and you throw in the athletic greens one in between 2 or 3 other ones, or you throw in 8 sleep for, hey, who can record their best sleep? And then with APIs, you could build the 8 sleep API into it, or you could pull health data. So what a wonderful, great idea. You said you had a couple of co-founders here. Tell me, what do you do? And tell me about your co-founders.
Yes, for sure. So I'm a co-founder as the product manager. So essentially from the ideation phase, I was in charge of user research mainly. So talking to tons and tons of people, understanding exactly what the mental model is from, you know, wanting to have a goal all the way to pulling your friends in or family in, and then all the way to how you track those goals. So understanding this mental model is mainly my job, and then directing the designers and the developers to work together. The designers, of course, mainly for the UI UX, as well as the pitch decks, as you've seen today. And then developers are shipping the product and hopefully launching tomorrow.
Great. And how many co-founders is it right now? There's
it's
2
4,
of you? Or 3?
4 co-founders. Yes.
Fantastic. Listen, it's 2023. The macro picture is a little shaky. It's uneasy out there, and tech is getting hit super hard. As such, you cannot afford to lose sales for silly stuff like not having your SOC 2 right now. If you are unsure about your SOC 2, you need to check out Vanta. Vanta makes it incredibly easy to get and renew your SOC 2. On average, Vanta customers are SOC 2 compliant in just 2 to 4 weeks. Compare that to 3 to 5 months without Vanta, huh? And they partner with over 24 audit firms who have been trained to file SOC 2 reports directly within Vanta. This is a total no-brainer. A bunch of my portfolio founders have used Vanta, and they've had amazing experiences. And if you don't have SOC 2 compliance, you can't close major customers. One major customer, that could be the difference between your startup thriving or going away. So get it done right now. Vanta's going to give you $1,000 off because you listen to this podcast. Think about it. $1,000 off. Vanta.com/twist. You got to write that down. Put it in your notes. Vanta.com/twist for $1,000 off your SOC 2. Well, this is great. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why not just go get the easy money? Why not go work at Google or Facebook? I mean, I know they're both firing people right now, but theoretically, why not just join a big company and get a huge check as a product manager?
Of course. So being an entrepreneur, I think specifically for this company is really meaningful to me. Going back to the story that I told at the beginning of the pitch, it's important just from a personal standpoint. I want to bond with my brother better. Having this sort of app allows me to bond with my brother who's back home many, many miles away. And so I think that this is a wonderful tool for people to connect in a time where it might be harder to connect because of geographical, different places that you're living in. So I think from a personal standpoint, I just think that this is solving a problem. I think this is helping people become more fulfilled in their social lives.
Fantastic. This is incredibly well done. Did you have a good time in the Founder University?
Yes, of course. I learned a lot.
Awesome. Did you sincerely learn stuff, or was it just, some people tell us like, oh, I knew a lot about entrepreneurship. I knew most of the stuff you were teaching. But it was the 12 weeks of like having to commit and, submit our progress every week and the accountability. So which was more important for you, the accountability of the program or the information of the program, or equal?
I think definitely the information helped. I think, it set me in kind of like a product thinking perspective, but definitely emailing Kelly every week, understanding, that we have to be shipping products, shipping kind of updates quickly. I think that really helped our team as a whole to continue working throughout the few months.
Well, pace matters, and speed is why little companies beat the big slow ones. So I think you learned some valuable lessons there. Amazing. Let's meet our next contestant on Who Will Win? Jake House 25 Dimes.
Okay.
Who's our next contestant?
Shin, you can turn your video off. We will have Joe from Outmost next.
All right, here we go. Big Joe, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm excited to see your presentation. I've heard great things about you. 3, 2, go.
Hey, my name is Joe, and I'm a co-founder of Outmost. Outmost is an online marketplace for securely buying and selling high-quality, used outdoor gear. It is a community of people who are passionate about human-powered sports. Meet Emily. She's looking for a pair of used Vans infused snowboarding boots, and like most adventure seekers, she's discerning about her purchases and cares about sustainability. Emily checks Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and the experience is horrible. Nothing of quality is available in her area, scams are prevalent, and it seems like no one knows what they're talking about. And then Emily discovered Outmost, and she found an incredible selection of high-quality outdoor gear sold by other adventure seekers. On Outmost, she found those Vans she was looking for in her size and in like-new condition. Sellers post for free, and they're paid instantly once their gear sells. Users communicate directly with each other, and everyone is covered under the Outmost Protection Guarantee. There's a 10% commission on every sale, and that's a key source of revenue for Outmost. The demand for resale services is evident in public markets, and consumers like Emily are increasingly turning to online platforms. Consumers are demanding sustainability, and influential outdoor brands have responded with buyback programs. Unlike them, Outmost offers a wide range of products from various brands. Outmost is currently available in over 10 cities across Canada and the United States, and a community is starting to sustain itself. Our go-to-market strategy has helped generate over 200 listings and 5,000 site visitors. Our business has been validated and is showing early signs of product market fit. At our current velocity, we're projecting Outmost to earn a net revenue of $17,000 in 2023. By Q4 2025, we anticipate $60 million in gross merchandise value and $6.5 million in revenue. Based on feedback from our community, including you, Jason, we are pursuing these initiatives which are going to help us reach our goals in 2023. We are still understanding the true bottom-up TAM. However, high-level statistics suggest there is potential for a unicorn company in this space, and it will be Outmost. The team behind Outmost is comprised of decades of experience in outdoor recreation, retail, and technology, and we have strong board of advisors committed to our success. Thank you.
Great job. I had seen this idea from you a couple of weeks ago when I did a session with the Founder University founders, and it looks like the product has gotten better. Maybe a little design refresh, or you've been evolved it a bit?
A little bit, for sure. I think also the last time I worked on this deck, it was from the NICU on my phone, so it wasn't as polished. But
you had a baby.
I had a baby, and so that.
Congratulations! Is everybody good now, or still in the NICU?
Everybody's good. Yeah, everyone's home.
Mazel tov. That's incredible.
Thank you.
So you have how many co-founders in this company?
2. So we have there's
you
myself,
plus 2, or you and your co-founder?
Me and my co-founder.
Got it.
Yeah.
And are one of you a developer, or both of you?
Both of us.
So the two of you, you're both developers. Did you work together previously?
No, we actually met at YC's co-founder match.
Oh, fantastic! Great.
Yeah, it worked out really well. So he's taking over the technical lead. It's been me up until now. Really, this started off as a project, and it's just really grown kind of out of control now to the point where I have a business on my hands, and it's demanding all of my attention. But he's taking over the technical lead, and he's been on board for the last couple of months, and he's really actually has some pretty grand ambitions.
You applied to YC, didn't get in, but you got into Founder University.
I actually didn't apply to YC because Presh pulled me into this course. So this is why
awesome. Well, nobody, listen, our hope is, with Founder University is that 100% of the graduates go on to make great products and apply to YC, Techstars, and our accelerator. And we just want to see people be successful. So I think actually now with what you've accomplished already, you have a good chance of getting into a YC or a Techstars or even our accelerator. So tell us a little bit about why you're so passionate about this space. Are you an outdoorsman?
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably a good place to start. I spent all my free time skiing and biking. I used to be a guide. I've worked in outdoor retail, like the Canadian version of REI.
What are the challenges with gear? So I'm an avid skier, as you know. Today was my 32nd day of the season. So I will hit, hopefully, knock on wood, if I stay healthy, my 40-day goal. But what's the nature of skiing gear, of other mountaineering gear, climbing gear, whatever it is that you're going to have on this site that makes it unique? What unique insights do you have into this space that we wouldn't know? What's the number one insight you have into the resale of this equipment and these people?
I think generally it comes down to knowledge, and it comes down to who you're buying this from. If you're going to go and buy used gear from somebody, you could go to Facebook Marketplace, you could go to Craigslist, and you might meet someone's aunt who's selling her, her son's or her nephew's gear in their garage. But if you're actually buying gear from somebody who knows what they're talking about, they've taken care of the gear, they can tell you all about the gear. If you're making an expensive investment, or if you're buying something that's, well over $300 or $400, you want to make sure that it's in good condition and that the person you're buying from knows a thing or two about the product itself. So I think in short answer, the community is tied to the quality of gear that we have.
How do you build a community of these like-minded folks and deal with reputation and people returning stuff, etc.? What's your plan there?
So I guess I'll start with the returns first. I think risk mitigation is probably one of the largest potential expenses worked into this business model. For example, if we have to deal with fraud, if we have to deal with returns, if there is a dispute, we're going to handle that on a case-by-case basis. And so far, that's how it's been handled. Pretty rare that it happens. Also, we're still scaling. So yeah, I think it's really just a matter of case-by-case basis. Yeah.
Right. All right. Well done. And the program for you, what did you get out of the program? If you had to mention number one and number two things you got out of the program.
I think honestly, it helped to fill in cracks in my knowledge and my understanding. I came into this with having worked at a few startups. I've worked in tech. I've listened to podcasts like yours for years. I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of things, and I guess the quality and the quantity of content in the course. There was a lot of it that wasn't news to me, but there was a lot of it that had me checking myself. I think I was,
good. Can you think of a moment where you checked yourself specifically, like some piece of information or some thought bomb, exploded in your lap?
I can't say I can think of one specific thing, but I think that's a pretty reoccurring narrative that happened throughout the whole course. Like every single day, opening up the curriculum, you might see a full page on a certain subject, and you feel like you're the expert, or you know it, or at least you have a pretty good sense. But yeah, filling in those cracks really helped. So everything from this entire pitch deck, that was based on the outline that was provided here. How to prioritize the kind of information you put in the deck, what you're focusing on, how do you prioritize in your MVP, these sort of things. So
Great.
Customer feedback, that's actually probably one of the biggest things I took away.
Awesome. Yeah, getting customer feedback, super critical. The march to 1 billion users continues for our friends at LinkedIn. 875 million people are using that platform. Wow. Let's face it, it's been tough here in tech. There's been a recent surge in layoffs, and that means there are insanely qualified people out there on LinkedIn looking for work, and they're looking to work hard and even join startups like yours. So the stakes are high right now. You need to get great people into your startup, and all of this talent is flooding the market. So what I want you to do is go post your first job for free. That's right. LinkedIn knows what they're doing. They're going to show you how great this product is. Go to linkedin.com/twist to post your first job for free. That's it. Nothing to lose and everything to gain. What if you get that bar raiser, the person who knows more than you about the vertical they're working in, whether it's sales, UX, marketing communications, growth hacking, HR, accounting, whatever it is. Now is the time to get that person, and LinkedIn is where they're waiting to meet you. When I say LinkedIn jobs, I want you to just think better candidates faster. Let's do it right now. A little neuro-linguistic programming here. LinkedIn jobs, better candidates faster. Better candidates, comma, faster. A little pause there. Better candidates faster, LinkedIn jobs, better candidates faster. Do what I do. Go to LinkedIn Jobs and find qualified candidates faster. Post your job for free. LinkedIn.com/twist. That's LinkedIn.com/TWIST to post your job for free. Terms and conditions, of course, apply because they're giving you something for free. Let's meet our next contestant on who's going to get 25 dimes from Jacob.
Next up, we have Cam with PaySquad. And Cam, we can see you.
Excellent. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Cam. How are you? Nice to
Very
see
well,
you again.
thanks.
All right. 3, 2, go.
Kia ora, I'm Cam, founder of PaySquad. We've created a group payments option at checkout so you can easily split the cost of your cart with others. Meet Kelly. She's shopping online for her best friend's 21st birthday. Kelly doesn't want to just buy something lame, but she also doesn't have the money to buy the kayak she knows her friend really wants. Luckily, she sees the Pay with PaySquad option is available at the checkout. Kelly answers a couple questions, makes her own contribution, then sends a simple link to other people who may be interested in contributing as well. When they click the link, they can immediately see where the item is being bought from, how close they are to the target, and who has already contributed. No app download required. In no time, the total is reached, PaySquad pays the merchant, and the item is shipped. Her friend will be stoked. 29% of Gen Z split the cost in scenarios like these every day, and this is being accelerated by inflation. However, digital wallets and bill-splitting apps fail to solve pain points in a way that's globally available and actually includes the merchant. By actively including merchants, PaySquad increases their cart sizes and helps extend reach. Rather than only seeing one customer in the transaction, they have the chance to connect with many, reducing CAC. It's like a firm, but for groups. You could call it a buy now, pay together. Our business model is similar to buy now, pay laters, where we charge a commission fee to merchants for every successful sale. We achieve better net transaction margins because we don't require lending credit. Since starting Founder U, we've launched our MVP, selling over $2,000 of product to over 100 users, earning a 3% margin. Signed up 3 merchants with several more in the pipeline, and connected to a global integrations partner to speed up our go-to-market by helping onboard merchants in the 5 main e-commerce platforms, setting up massive network effects. Our path to 100 million starts with retail checkouts, where we aim to capture 2% of transactions in 100 retail merchants in the next 12 months before expanding to group ticketing and travel verticals, then moving to a fully hosted marketplace with card issuing. Our founding team has built and scaled banking, billing, payments, and financial education apps. I'm Cam from PaySquad. Let's get checkouts out of single player mode.
Okay. Well done. So tell me about the transaction. You said you had 100 folks do $2,000, I think, worth of transactions. What were the different scenarios, and has that taught you something about maybe a beachhead market for you to go after first?
It was indeed. And the majority of them were people that we didn't know at all. And that was kind of the beauty of it.
How did you acquire them?
We had a couple news articles about us being involved in Founder U, actually, that went out here in New Zealand. And so people...
Oh, so press to pilot customers. Press to pilot. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we had groups that were splitting the cost for their kids' coaches for end-of-year gifts. We had groups of coworkers who split the cost for end-of-year presents. And we even had a big 30th birthday thing where people split the cost for a big gift.
Okay. Fantastic. And so you're a New Zealand-based entrepreneur, yeah?
Yes.
What's the startup scene like there? Is there a dynamic startup scene, or do people look at entrepreneurs there as like weird mutants?
A bit of both. We have our home runs like Zero and PushPay and Vend and a few of these massive ones. But it's scrappy. You know, there's a saying here called number 8 wire, where we can build something with very little resource and make it and scale it to the world. So we're kind of view ourselves as underdogs with a bit of a chip on our shoulder.
What does this expression mean? You said number 8 wire?
Yeah, it's a type of wire that's used for like fencing and just tying things together. And this is sort of the mentality that we have.
Number 8 wire. Okay, so you'd be like saying duct tape and chewing gum here in the United States. Like we slap this thing together.
Yes.
I like it. Okay, very good. And for you, what's your background? What makes you super qualified to pursue this?
Sure, it's in growth marketing and in product management as well. My team and I have built.
You did growth marketing before?
Yes. Yeah.
What was the most successful thing you ever did as a growth marketer?
The financial education app. Scaled it from 15,000 users to well over 1,500 users to well over 19,000 inside 8 months.
You did that as a consultant, or as a friend startup, or you worked there?
First employee.
First employee.
Yeah.
Great.
And that was that for 2 things. The financial education aspect really gave me a passion for the financial space and helping people make better decisions. So one of the things for PaySquad is leveraging young people's connectedness rather than their impulsiveness.
All right. Well done. All right, Kelly, this is a difficult one. I spoke to Presh, and I'll just have you give your ranking of who, if I could only give 25K to one, who you would give it to? 2 and 3. Okay, here we go. PaySquad was Precious number 3. Who's your number 3? Kelly?
My number 3 is Sticker.
Okay, your number 3 Sticker. PaySquad is Precious. Okay, and your number 2, Kelly?
PaySquad.
Okay, and Precious Sticker, which means you both picked Outmost as your number 1. Why do you think a marketplace for sports gear is the best idea, and why did you pick that company?
Yeah, absolutely. I think specifically in looking at Outmost and thinking about what's going to have the best return for us, this is a space that is incredibly proven, right? Consumer marketplaces focusing on secondhand items have just a ton of traction. And doing a little bit of research, I found that Poshmark, for example, has over 70 million users and a GMV of 4 billion, which is just crazy.
And I think really, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, really nuts. Wow. And I think
what is driving this? You think when you look at that space? I'm checking your analytic ability here as an investor. Now you're one of my mentor. You're one of my mentees. How do I say that? You're one of my Padawan here. I'm trying to teach you how to be a Jedi investor. What is it about that space when you think of the mental model or the factors, the why nows? Why is Poshmark and why are these marketplaces, working now? What is it about them?
Yeah, I think there's 2 reasons that I've been looking at. One is the sustainability aspect has just become so relevant in pop culture. So I think that is playing a little bit to what's going on. But I think the more structured and the more intense why now specifically is around, the fact that there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And, folks aren't sure if the next few years are going to look like the last few years in terms of how much money is in their bank. And so I think people have had this appetite for nicer quality products, having hobbies that maybe they couldn't afford previously. And now with all of this uncertainty, the layoffs, unsure on home prices and where that's going to go, folks are becoming a little bit more tight on where they're spending. And so I think there's a really incredible why now here.
I really like your analysis. This is why you work for me. You've really thought this through. You did research and you came with a prepared mind today. And that's one of the things I learned from Michael Moritz and Doug Leone and the Sequoia Squad was, hey, have a prepared mind. The prepared mind would tell you, yes, austerity measures are in people's minds. And there's a couple of generations that really care about not wasting clothes or products. And to them, the idea of being able to use a snowboard or a GoPro that's previously been used, to them, they think they're helping the planet by not buying it new and unboxing it again. Whereas maybe my generation, Gen Xers, we kind of really wanted to have disposable income and be able to afford stuff. And we wanted to own a BMW or a Mercedes or whatever it was, and the whole yuppie movement was about being a young urban professional and having that disposable income. Now, maybe people look at it a little differently. And I think those are 2 really great observations. When we look at these companies, and the nature of the companies and the teams. Now, you made your decision. I ask you always to make your decision what's in the best interest of our LPs. So we're clear. We are a finance company. We are not a feel-good startup. We are not a content company. We are a finance company. Our job is to get a maximum return for our limited partners. And I have to repeat that often. We're not picking companies to make ourselves feel good or give ourselves a participation trophy or because of diversity or any other reasons. We want to see diversity and all this kind of stuff. But what we need to do to be in business is get returns for LPs. No returns for LPs, there's no business here. So we have a very specific mission, return the maximum amount. What about each of these teams as we go through it has impressed you? Because you are running the program and you've met with them. So maybe you could just say a little bit about each team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's impressed you about each of these teams and how do they fit into our mental model and framework of teams we like to back?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sticker specifically has multiple co-founders and multiple builders on their team. They've had really great product velocity throughout the program, and they are also within our core 4 as all of these. For anybody listening, our core 4 are the business models that we like to invest in here at launch. And so they fit nicely into that thesis that we look for. Moving over to Outmost, next up, we, kind of similar. They have the builder on the team They've had really great product velocity, and they've got some early users on the platform and have been listening to those customers. And so during the program, that really jumped out at me as I got to know them. And then last up, PaySquad, again, very similar in that core 4 model. I know the founder, Cam, is not a builder himself, but he does have that growth background. And I think he'll be the one that, once it's built and is a usable tool, and it seems like it is, that he'll be able to scale it pretty quickly through the early days.
When you're a founder, priority number 1 is hitting your payroll. This means you need fast access to cash no matter what goes down. So startups need to hold their money in more than just one FDIC insured account. We all know that, right? Been pretty choppy out there of late. So let me tell you about Mayfair. Mayfair is a cash vault powered by Stripe, and it's built for startups looking to diversify and grow their funds automatically. It takes 10 minutes to set up. It works alongside your existing bank accounts, and most importantly, FDIC insured. Here's how it works. You sign up for a new Mayfair account. You keep operating cash at your existing bank and deposit the rest at Mayfair for safekeeping. Then move your money back whenever you need it, or let Mayfair manage your balances automatically. Mayfair can help you earn yield with no investment risk or lockups. Earn 4.35% APY on daily balances paid for by the bank. Your cash stays in cash and is never invested into money market funds, bonds, or other instruments. Withdraw your funds at any time, just like a checking account. Mayfair is designed to keep your money safe. They partner with Stripe to move your money securely, and your funds are held in the custody of Evolve Bank and Trust, which powers companies like Mercury and Wise. Your funds receive automatic pass-through FDIC insurance. So here's your call to action. Twist listeners that sign up today earn 4.35% yield on their daily balances. That's more than 10 times the national average savings account. Go to getmayfair.com/twist to start managing your cash like a Fortune 500 company today. That's getmayfair.com/TWIST. Okay. This is, once again, well done, Kelly. You continue to impress me as an investor, even though you're very early in your career, only really starting your second year thinking about this. We like product velocity. Product velocity, it assumes some amount of quality, not spastic, like just throwing stuff against the wall that's ugly. But even throwing stuff against the wall that's ugly is better than not having product velocity. So product velocity is super important because the teams that move faster get to try things, they get to learn more. Then having multiple co-founders means you have redundancy inside the company, and the founders don't pay themselves often in these early stages. So the company doesn't go away. When you have a solo idea founder and they have nobody around them who can build, what happens? They raise a little bit of money, they give it to a dev shop, and then it's over. And then they need to constantly go back to the well to try to get some more money. It's possible you could be an idea person like I would say Adam Newman from WeWork is and now Flow, and you're just super charismatic. You can get people to give you tons of money and hire that expertise, but not everybody can do that. So in an early stage, it's important to have builders, and we like to back builders. We think they have a much higher degree of success. And then, business model matters. So you have a marketplace here. You have Sticker, which would be either consumers would pay or it would be affiliate/advertising marketing based. Got a social network aspect. Consumers might actually pay for that product, I think. I would. And then you have PaySquad, which is finance, right? So the major business models that work and scale violently are subscription, people paying for software, either consumer subscription or enterprise. They have fintech and they have marketplaces. Those core 4 always seem to perform. Now, we don't limit ourselves to those. There could be other business models like data and affiliate and advertising, but the big 4 we mentioned there tend to do really well in terms of getting the flywheel going. So now comes the hard part. It's time for me to assess what I think of each of these. I will be candid with each of the founders who can now turn on their cameras. Candid with each of them, if they give me permission to be candid. So as part of the program, I always tell people, I can sugarcoat it. I have now learned how to sugarcoat it and throttle myself. But I always want to be that partner you have in your company where I am brutally honest with each of you. Give me a thumbs up if you're cool with that. I just want to make sure nobody's going to get their feelings hurt here. Okay, good. That, of course, is a test. If you can't take brutal feedback, you're going to fail as an entrepreneur. So that was just the first test. You all passed. Congratulations. For Sticker, I think the product could look a lot better. I think design matters with consumers. and people judge books by their cover. I think you have a wonderful idea. I think you've got a sick team. And I think you've got the right passion for this. And your success will be determined in large part because it's a consumer product by how beautiful the design is. Now, it's not bad now, certainly not bad, but it needs to be so good that Apple's App Store will feature it. How would you know if your product is good enough to be featured by Apple's App Store? Take a second to think about that. How would you know if your product is good enough? It's a bit of a trick, obvious question, but I do these kind of like dad obvious questions. But how would you know what would be the quality of your product or the necessary design quality to make the Apple design snobs feature it? And they are design snobs. They will not feature stuff that's janky. What would it need to have? How would you assess what they're looking for?
I think there's two aspects to it. There's the sheer aesthetics of it. So how well the colors, how well, the size of the buttons and whatnot, how well they look. And on the second aspect, how well they work. So does it feel good when you're using it? And right. I think more often than not, it strives for simplicity.
Got it. So how would you know what Apple wants? How could you figure it out?
Sorry, yeah.
Go ahead.
By analyzing the apps that are on the App Store right now, the ones that are featured.
You just reverse engineer it. Just go read the last 20 that have been featured and hear why Apple loves them, and try to take that list and sit with your team, buy everybody a bunch of pizza, burritos, whatever everybody's into. Print those out, sit in a room, you all read it. Maybe you have ChatGPT do a little bit of work on the side, and you try to figure out what are the commonalities, and then you reverse engineer it into your product. And I think you know some of them. The hooks, the emotion. I'll tell you another one. Don't tell anybody else. Things that are unique to Apple's APIs. Also, they kind of like that. So Apple Watch being featured in the product. So the Apple Watch gives you an alert, or iMessage having some unique iMessage hook that only works with Apple's iMessage. All of those things could be constructive. So great job, by the way. And now when I look at Outmost, I think, again, design could be a little bit better, but it's a good start. I do worry about margins and how to build that community and returns and all that stuff. So I think studying how to get the flywheel going and doing real world events that make it a movement. So my wish for you is, can you make this into a movement? Because you heard Kelly's analysis that she thought that this had to do with austerity measures was a good why now. I like that. But that also people really care about waste. And I think figuring out how to make that a movement through live events where people come and swap stuff live and you host it live and you sign up at your website to come do it could be incredibly powerful. And this is real world to digital signups. And it can be incredibly powerful if you could figure out a way to do this. There was real world virality to Uber and Lyft and Sidecar before that. What is real world virality? That's when a person experiences your product in the real world and they tell the person next to him, hey, look at that. And the example would be, I order an Uber. I say, get in. I'll take you to the next party. I'll take you to the next bar. And they're like, oh, you have a driver? And it's like, yeah, I have my own personal driver. It's called Uber. And they take out the app and they literally, you download it in the Uber and everybody's had that experience. So real world virality could get you a customer acquisition cost of $1 or $5, whereas trying to do it online with Facebook ads could wind up costing you $30, $40, $50. And that could be amazing. Just having an end of season or beginning of season swap meet, in Tahoe and giving out flyers and then letting people sign up and giving people codes or whatever could be incredible. So I just want you to think a little bit about how you make it into a movement in the real world nature of it. And for PaySquad, I like the fact that you're from New Zealand. I like the fact that you got a little chip on your shoulder. I like the fact that you're getting some press. But what I really want to see is I want you to own a beachhead market. I don't feel like you figured that out yet. And that's just going to take time. But there is a beachhead market here of people sharing expenses. And I don't know if it's bridal showers or a bachelorette party, it could be something there, or it could be there's just some place where people always split the cost. I don't know if it's whitewater rafting trips, whatever, travel comes to mind, but you're going to find one where you get market pull because it's such an arduous, painful process. Maybe it's golfing. I don't know. People have to split the cost on golfing. So I really want you to find that beachhead market. And then I want you to pound that beachhead market into submission. Because when you find a beachhead market like that, what people tend to do is they kind of drift around and they do 10 different markets and they spread the peanut butter really thin across like 2 pieces of toast. And what you really want is a big spoonful of peanut butter. You really want to have the thick, deep, real resonance so you can solve the problem for one group of people. Now, there would be some criticism there like, you've only works with one group of people. Don't worry about that. People said that about Airbnb and Uber as well, or Coinbase or Robinhood. It's only for this type of person. And then slowly those zealots would explain it to other people. And so you need to have those people who are just absolutely religious about your product. Once again, I found myself loving all 3 companies. But we can't sit here every week and give all 3 people $25K, can we, Kelly?
Of course we can. You're Jason. You make the decisions.
Correct answer. I could do that. And today I will do that. All 3 of you get $25K. I love all of your companies. I love all of your progress. I love all of your team composure. I think you're all going to be super successful. So all I ask is that you put twice as much effort in the next 12 weeks than you did in the last. Just keep up that high energy, that sense of urgency, because that is what entrepreneurship is about. I don't care if you succeed or fail. I just want you to put all your effort into it. And now is the time. Now's the time. There are so many people who want to invest in startups, and they want to invest right at this moment in time, or I should say maybe in 6 months, when you figure out the product a little bit and you get that $50K a month in revenue, $25K a month in revenue. It's my honor to be able to be the first money into these 3 companies, if I am in fact that. But if I'm not, I'm just happy to be early on the cap table. It just warms my heart that you're doing this and working so hard and have that product velocity. And I just want to say thank you to Kelly and her team, doing a great job finding these companies. Congratulations. Look under your desks. There's a couple of bricks of $100 bills. That'd be funny if we did it that way. If we put a package and you all open the package and we'd see if it was empty, it just had a phone book in it, or it had 25 large in cash. But okay. Any questions for me?
Does anybody know what a phone book is these days?
Exactly. Anybody have any questions for me about entrepreneurship as we wrap up here?
I have a specific question, actually. And
Sure.
Well, first of all, thank you, Jason. You are the first investor. And after listening to your podcast for so many years, it feels like you're a friend and getting to know you over the course. So, but yeah.
Any entrepreneur is a friend of mine. I can tell you that. The entrepreneurs are solving all the problems in the world, as opposed to the people complaining. But you had a question. Go ahead.
So I guess my question for you, so one idea I have is around actually sponsoring swap meets. So rather than, it's pretty cost intensive to set them up, and there's already swap meets going on all over the world. So I guess my question is, if you see one in Lake Tahoe, or if you hear of it, I'll do some research. We should make that the first one. And
it's a great idea to do that. That give you a jump start. Or you could make a playbook, how to host a swap meet. In person and online, and you create the playbook for it, and then you deputize people. We did a little experiment like this with This Week in Startups and fan meetups, and then all-in meetups happened. And it's kind of like a non-commercial validated thing where you find somebody who's running one already, you give them some support, and you say, hey, we'd like you to do this maybe 3 times a year. If we paid you $1,000 to do them, would that be for each one? Would that be helpful to you? And they'd be like, what? You'd pay me to do this? I'm doing this because I just wanted to help the community. So there might be something there where you can build a hybrid that's similar to TEDx. So anyway, one of the great things about having a good idea like the one you have is you'll have plenty of ideas, and then you just have to prioritize and try the ones that you think have the best chance of success, and then cancel the ones that don't. Founder University, in fact, is one of those things that we did as a firm. It was an experiment. We did it for 2 days, then we did it for 12 weeks. We found the 12-week one led to much better outcomes. So here we go. And not that the 2-day didn't have great outcomes. It did, but this 12-week is having extraordinary outcomes. Anybody else have a question for me at the end here as we wrap up?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. This is crazy. Really appreciated your feedback on the design. I was just wondering, in terms of the the team side, do you think that introducing more designers, more perspectives would help to, hone the design? Or do you think that having one designer, perhaps like one perspective, would help to create the cohesion on the design on the app?
So great designers don't often want to work for one company because it's kind of boring for them, let's be honest, right? They're not going to sink their teeth into it for 5 years. Now, sometimes a company will become transcendent, and Uber or Airbnb again come to mind. Mm-hmm. And there's it's just so much fun to be the design head of that people will stick around for a couple of years and do it. So, and there are so many designers out there on a global basis that are so affordable for startups. So if you go to Dribbble or Behance or countless other places and you just say, hey, I'm looking for a designer to make 5 screens, and you spec it out really well. And you say, give me 2 ideas that you think are reminiscent of these 20. And it could be or 10 of the ones from the Apple, backing into the thing.
Yeah.
You say, hey, here are the 20 we've identified that are interesting to us. Pick, be inspired by any number of these and then say, and give us one wild card. And you could get somebody to do that for just 3 screens, which is 3 design ideas for 3 screens. And you say, I'll give you $100 a screen. Now, there are some designers who are going to be throwing up their hands like, oh my God, you're lowballing us. Hey, startups will give lowball offers to designers and say, hey, I have $500. I have $1,000. Would you do this for us? And you know what? You could just take it and throw it away, or you could learn from it and then move on to the next. And then you have to ask yourself, if I hired a $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year designer, which would be better? To hire a couple of freelancers for $1,000 2 or 3 times a year and try to do that. And then you find one you love, then you could contract them for a $5,000 job for 6 weeks to do this. And then they might just charge you $50 or $75 an hour. I think there's an unlimited supply today of $50 to $75 an hour designers out there. And again, I know some people are going to be like really offended and think I'm lowballing them. And there's design firms that will spec this out for $40,000 for you, but that's not where you're at right now. Now, if you raise $3 million in a seed round or $10 million, by all means, hire 3 people for $50,000 and get the results of it, and then pick the one you want, and you're $150K in, and it's no big deal. So I think your instinct is right that you may not, unless you have somebody internally who's extraordinary at design, you might be better off getting some outside ideas, or maybe go through the top 20 ideas out there and say, you know what, I really love this Notion design aesthetic. Maybe we should go with something similar to that. Or, it seems like TikTok and Snap have something here that we can learn from, or the Zero app or Fitbit. You could look at how they do challenges, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel in design. It's completely allowed to be inspired by somebody else's design aesthetic, and then go from there. In fact, I'm obsessed with the Notion design aesthetic. And
me too.
Every time I type in Notion design or Notion illustrations, if you just type in Notion illustrations, there are literally like 30 or 40 people out there who are making that Notion design style of illustration. So you could have your team's avatars designed to look like Notion made them for you. It's really weird. So yeah, I think your instincts are right. And there's little to lose, and just make sure your team buys in that, hey, there's a reason to do this. We are a consumer product. We will be judged just like we judge. And I think looking at calm.com, which was one of the great design successes, Robinhood and Uber. And Uber looked really bad at the beginning. I mean, Travis was infuriated at the design. I've seen Travis mad about things. I've never seen him as mad as design. I would ask him like, hey, what's the story with the taxi cab going, it's going down the street, but it's going down the street sideways, like it's spinning out. He's like, God, I told my designer 7 times. He was really upset that he hadn't made like 3 different designs. And now when your Uber is driving, it'll turn around and look like it's going in the proper direction. Anyway, if you're not embarrassed by your first couple of versions, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Robinhood, incredible design. Calm, incredible design. Uber, eventually incredible design. The guys from Airbnb, man, they went to RISD. They were designers. Like, they understand design. Medium, my friend Ev Williams, he was a design snob. Twitter, design snob, man. Twitter would, one time I went to see Ev Williams at Medium, and he had like 9 people in the design department for a blogging platform. I'm like, what are they doing all day? I asked him. He's like, well, it's kind of like Apple. They build a bunch of stuff and we throw away 90%. And I was like, wow, you want to know why Medium succeeded and why like President Obama used to use Medium? It looked the best. That was it. Aesthetically looked better than a lot of other things. Look at Squarespace. Why did they win? Aesthetically, they looked better than everybody else. They looked better than their contemporaries. All right, final question if anybody has one.
Sure. Jason, thanks so much. Outstanding. Pros and cons of having a physical footprint in the US in an early stage.
I mean, if you want to win, San Francisco, the Bay, not the city, but the Bay Area is having a bit of a renaissance. And if you bring your team members and you camp out there and you start meeting with people, I think magic can happen. It could happen to a lesser extent in, New York, Miami, LA, and Austin. But if you're serious about it and you want to meet a lot of investors in a short period of time, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing 3 to 6 month stint if you can swing it, in Silicon Valley. And I think for all of you, getting in, after you work on your product in a couple of months, applying to the top accelerators, if you get into one, great. That's another stamp in your passport. Remember, it's a milestone-based, at its best, Silicon Valley is a milestone-based funding system, as best I can tell. And my 25K, it's a great signal, right? You got some press after being in Founder University because it's so unique to be a founder in New Zealand, right? Maybe you don't get that same thing from the press here in the US because there's a lot of startups here. But over time, you kind of get these stamps in your passport. YC, Techstars, certain investors, and then all of a sudden you're anointed. And then people take you seriously. Now, the ultimate thing is the growth of your startup and how passionate your customers are. So never forget that. It really is about how much value those customers are getting and how much value you can provide them, and basically having customers who won't shut up about how great your product is. The great VCs are going to see through social proof, but social proof can get you in the door. So I wouldn't discount it. It's important. I always tell people, and people are like, I have people offer free shares in their company to me. We'll give you 5% of the company for free. We just want to say you're an investor and put your picture on the deck. I'm like, no, thank you. I want to buy the shares. But, it can help, to be a YC company, a Techstars company, a launch company, to have an angel investment from somebody notable. But it only helps you get in the room. Then it's 100% you. And by 100% you, I mean your product and your customers. The product and the customers. Some people might say total addressable market, but generally, if you don't have the product and the customers in sync, what difference does the total addressable market make? So anyway, this is the start. Now y'all will be, every time we invest in a company, we move them over to our Slack. So now you'll have access to my team and myself in the Slack, and we can chop this stuff up. We make little bird of a feather groups. So we have some marketplace folks. I think, Kelly, it'd be nice to have all the marketplace folks in a bird of a feather. Maybe we could start the marketplace bird of a feather and put everybody there. And then maybe the consumer app bird of a feather group. We're starting these bird of a feather groups because I have so many investments now. We want the investments to talk to each other. So we started with direct to consumer, where we have 10 of these D2C companies. It's challenging to be a D2C company right now because VCs have, they're not as enamored by the space as they were. So anyway, we could put all these together and, you can meet some other founders who are at similar places in time, because you are all like mutants. You're unique in the world, but you got to kind of stay hidden, right? This is like the X-Men. You're mutants, and we can take you to Professor X's academy, and you can meet the other mutants. Looking forward to working with you all. And checks in the mail, or wires in the mail. Good luck to y'all. All right. We'll see you all next time on This Week in Startups. Bye-bye.